How would you like to know exactly which objects in Blender are visible by your camera? Well, look no further than the nView Blender add-on. I go over all the ways you can use nView in another video, but there are a lot of settings you can tweak to get the most out of nView. Let me go through them. Firstly, there's the selected and visible only checkboxes. Check these if you want nView to only act on objects you have currently selected or currently visible in the viewport. Uncheck both if you want nView to act on all the objects in your scene. For the Exclude Instance Objects checkbox, this takes a little bit of explaining. Say you're instancing a collection onto an empty. If you hide an object in the original collection, it'll be hidden in the empty's instance. Keeping this setting checked ensures that nView doesn't hide any objects in your original collection, which would accidentally hide it everywhere I said collection is instanced. With minimum bounding box, think of a bounding box as the smallest rectangular box your object can fit in. Some object types like lights are an infinitesimal point in space, so technically their bounding box is just that, a point. This setting forces nView to give these objects a minimal size for nView to work with. In the camera panel, you can choose if nView works with a single camera you specify or just the scene's currently active camera. Note that nView will use your current active camera throughout an animation if that camera changes. For the Object Types panel, these toggles tell nView to only act on these object types. Note that both the camera and object panels are only in the nView panel, not the Redo panel. This is partially due to limitations with the Blender API. For the animation settings, for more understanding on this and the auto keyframe functionality, be sure to check out the animation video for nView. Let's go over the different culling methods that are available to you by nView. These are the algorithms nView uses to decide if an object or polygon is visible or not. The first one is frustum culling. This simply takes the camera's frustum or view boundaries, projects them into space to make a large box, and if the polygon or object is within this box, it's visible. This algorithm is fast and usually sufficient for what you need. If you want to add some padding to your camera view boundary, you can increase the margin setting. Usually 5 or 10% of the camera's largest side is enough. Next is occlusion culling. For this algorithm, rays are sent from the camera into your scene. nView makes the rays for you based on a resolution that you specify. If an object or polygon is hit by any of these rays, then it is considered visible. While it is very precise and useful when you have objects hiding other objects, using lots of rays takes a long time to calculate. That's why I keep the resolution percentage very low, usually 5 to 10% of my scene's render resolution. But there is a bonus setting just for occlusion culling. That's bounces. The rays sent from the camera, they can bounce off and hit other objects in your scene. Objects that, while not visible to the camera directly, may still be contributing to the scene, like with reflections or indirect light. Ray casts are slow, so start with a low number of bounces. Next is distance culling. If an object is within a distance you specify, it's considered visible. This disregards the direction the object is in relation to the camera. This algorithm is very fast and useful if you want to keep objects close to the camera for indirect light or reflections. Note that this method is for object mode only. Lastly is backface culling. If a polygon is facing the camera, it is considered visible. This algorithm is also very fast, and feel free to use these methods in combination. Get creative. If occlusion culling takes too long on your computer, you may get a similar result with frustum culling and distance culling used together.